So recently, somebody messaged me and they told me that they were in a class of mine years ago and they remembered something that I said to them and it still sticks with them and it truly made an impact in their life. And I was so blessed to receive this message. It felt like it was a little God wink to keep going in the direction I want to go. And what they told me I said was that you need to intentionally design your life or somebody else will, and they won't do it in your best interests. And I say this all the time. And what I mean by this is not that people are out there just trying to be malicious and it's a really bad, hard world out there. Like, that's not what I mean when I say that. I mean that generally speaking, people tend to have their agenda in mind. And it's so easy for us to, especially if you're someone who is very concerned about other people, like you genuinely care about other people and how they feel, and sometimes maybe you can fall into people pleasing tendencies. It's very easy for people like that to fall into the agenda of what somebody else wants for them. And then before they know it, they're living their life based on what everybody else wants versus what they truly want for themselves. And if you continue to do this, what happens is at the end of your life, if you're going to get that flashback and you get to see your life, what flashes before your eyes isn't your life. It's the life somebody else wanted you to live. And I think about that visual and I'm like, I don't want that to be me. And I realized too, like our time here, it is so limited. And someone who talks a lot about this is Jesse Itzler. I just talked about this in our Clarify Your Vision virtual retreat. I shared what he said recently from a video that I just watched. It really stood with me because what Jesse often talks about is how the average of the time that people tend to live. So I think it's 77 and a half, something like that, 77 and a half years. And he says what motivates him to do the things that he wants to do on his heart and is this idea that, hey, if you live to be the average, which is 77 and a half, maybe hopefully you live to be longer than that. But let's say you just get to the average. How much more time do you have here? Like, do the math. How much more time? For me, I'd have about 41 and a half more years. And when I think about 41 and a half more years, like 41 and a half more summers, I'm like, man, I really want to have some amazing summers. So if you just pick a specific season, it doesn't really seem like that much. And for some of us, it's way less than that. And some of us, it's way more than that. But just think about it. What do you want to really be doing with your time that you have here? I feel like when you think about it in that way, it just really hits you. And that's what Jesse is always talking about and inspiring people around. It's like, I love his desire to really get the most out of life. My coach just described this to me the other day that she wants to be the person who, like, a toothpaste tube, like really squeezes that toothpaste tube, uses all that toothpaste when it comes to her life, And I think about that with my life too. Like, that's who I want to be. Like, I want to be the person that's looking back with no regrets on how I showed up. And that's why I'm so passionate about us having a vision for who we want to be and us taking intentional action on that vision. And I know that accountability is essential to that. And I know you need to start downloading some new mental programs and some other environmental things and some new habits. You got to be setting that stuff up so you actually follow through. So speaking of that, if you do want help with that, we have a very affordable mastermind that we are launching February 5th. It's happening very soon. And it's for $52 to sign up. That's it. That's accountability and support for you. We meet every other week on Wednesday nights, Eastern Standard Time. And accountability support for you all the way up until this first quarter is done, till April 2nd. So I think that is such an awesome and affordable way to get help and also to be uplifted by community. So we're offering that. If you want to be a part of that, you're going to see the link to sign up in the details section of this episode, or you can message me if you have any questions about it. I'm super excited about it because I want that accountability and support. The big part of this group is that it's a way for us to track our progress and celebrate it. And research shows the more that you track your progress, the more that you celebrate it and you have accountability, you're going to follow through. You're like 95% more likely to follow through when you have accountability. But then throw that other stuff in there in the mix of tracking the progress and actually celebrating it. It's really going to help you grow and be who you want to be with the limited time that we have here. So the other thing that Jesse talked about recently was he shared 2 questions, and those questions just really helped me. They're so basic, but I was like, it just helped me make some big decisions recently. These were the 2 questions. Number 1 is, what do you want to be doing with your time? Like, actually, what are the activities that you want to be doing with your time? And who do you want to be doing them with? So basic. But recently I had an opportunity come my way, and the old me would have been all about it and jumped on it. And I've had a habit of like filling my time, like a little, like too much, being addicted in a sense to being productive. And I think tying that a little bit to like my self-worth, some of those things where it's like, I didn't feel like I had a great day if I didn't get a lot done. It's that kind of mindset. And then what happened was I would just fill every little chunk of time that I had with something, or I was working on somebody else's business stuff or somebody else's dream and goal versus working on my own stuff. So that's a shift that I'm making this year, is like, I'm really shifting my energy to focus on my vision. Y'all, I teach this stuff all the time, and I have to be reminded constantly to stay true to my vision constantly. Because again, I'm that person that an opportunity comes my way, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm like, wait. This isn't in alignment with who I want to be. So recently this opportunity came, and then I thought I was about to sign the contract, like going through all the process. And I stopped and I was like, wait, is this in alignment with my vision and who I want to be? Like, does it help me be her? And then the questions that Jesse posed, it was the deal breaker for me. Because I thought about, okay, do I want to spend my time doing this thing that they're wanting me to do? And do I want to spend my time doing it with the people that I know will be around me when I'm doing that thing? Like, really, if I get to choose, would I choose that? And I thought, like, obviously I get to choose now, but I was like, no, like when I think about like, that doesn't even sound fun to me at all. And if I have the option to do something else with my time that is more enjoyable with other people that are just straight up more fun to be around, then why wouldn't I choose that? Because it's always the choice. I'm constantly having to remind my career coaching clients of this, because scarcity kicks in for us a lot of times. We're like, we feel like we have to do this because of, the money, or we have to do it because of the 401k, the benefits, or whatever. Like, I hear all the things. Sometimes we feel that way. And I started feeling that way, keeping it real. I almost signed this contract because of the money that I would get from. But then I was like, what am I doing? Like, if I only have the 41 and a half more summers here, then is this like for a chunk of time, whatever that is, do you want to be doing these things with those people? No, Ange, you don't even like those things. And in fact, you choose to hang out with more fun people. So those questions have really helped me, because every time now an opportunity is coming my way, I check in. Is like the who part of it with those people doing those things. Not in alignment, or yes, that feels good. And that's why I'm thinking about this mastermind that we're creating. I'm really excited about it because I believe that it gives people the option to get accountability in a way that's super affordable, and it's with fun people. And when I think about my time, that is very limited when it comes to, I don't have a lot of free time where I'm away from my son and I can deeply focus on something now that he is so little and stuff. And that's fine, because I love my time with him. But keeping it real, I don't have the time that I used to, as far as the free time, to work on things like I did now that I'm a new mom. But when I think about something like this, I'm like, yeah, because I love hanging out with those people who are inspiring. And it's worth my time to be held accountable to my vision and track the progress. Like, that's in alignment with who I want to be. So yeah, I want to do more of that. And I love building community, and I love being like brainstorming ideas together. That fuels my energy. So it makes sense that I would choose to do that with my time. It's in alignment with my vision. So I want you to think about this, like for yourself, the things that you are choosing right now, and you are choosing to give your time to, is that in alignment with who you want to be? And if you had X amount of time here, would you be wanting to do those activities that you're doing with those people? Or would it be a different group of people? doing a different set of things. Think about it. Deep breath, because I'm just thinking about so many people that I have worked with that would be like, no. And I think the who part of it, we don't think enough about, like, who we're spending our time with, especially like in a lot of the work environments that people are in. Like, they don't always want to be hanging out with those people. Like, a big part of my work, like I've done with a lot of people, is to get them in environments where the people they hang out with or they're working with, they love being around. Like, those are their people. And I think about that, like all the opportunities that come my way, even when I'm thinking about speaking at different events, I want the audience to be in alignment with me. Like, I want to be around people I like to be around that are fun, that get me, and get my messaging, and get my style. Like, we could be friends. We could be having coffee together. Those are the audiences like I want to speak to. And there's certain audiences that are not for me. And when I think about certain clients that I want to work with, that I wouldn't want to spend time with, because we're just not in alignment. No hate on them, right? Someone else might be more in alignment with them. But I'm just saying, like, I want to be more intentional like that. I want to be intentional about not just the things I'm doing, but the who I'm doing them with. It's just a little shift that makes such a difference, because at the end of it all, when we sit there and we look back on our lives, or if we're in our deathbeds and we get to review our lives, we're not thinking about just all the things we did. No, we're thinking about who we spent time with and how fun it was to be with them. So shouldn't we be crafting our environment in a way where we have more of those kind of people in our life that align with us, that are cheerleaders, that have higher energy, that are wanting to build us up, that want to grow with us? Yeah. So again, if you want to be part of this mastermind group, come on, join us. Let's have fun. And if you haven't clarified your vision yet and you still want to be part of this group, don't worry. You can be part of the group. I'll hook you up. You'll get some other resources so you can get that happening for yourself. All right. So before I go, I want you to think about you taking action today that's in alignment with who you want to be. Meaning, like, actually notice, be like, oh, me ordering that healthy drink was a vote for who I wanted to become. If I'm using James Clear's language, it's an evidence of me being the healthy person that I want to be. Me signing up for X thing is evidence of me being X person that I want to be. Like, I want your brain to start to notice evidence of you being who you want to be. I shared in the Clarify Your Vision virtual retreat how I'm tracking my progress this year and how I've set up my identity statements. And then I have some actions. And then I have this section where I'm tracking evidence of me showing up as her. That is so important, because it's a way that you're training your brain. You're getting your brain to see, oh, I'm being her. Because your brain's already doing that right now. It's looking at evidence of you being whoever, and it's running that same program. And sometimes it's finding evidence that isn't serving you, and it's causing you to run a same program that doesn't serve you or a belief. For example, real quick one before we end this episode, it could just simply be like, let's say you haven't been working out in the way that you want to. You're not following through on that. You're not eating healthy the way that you want to. And your brain's like, oh, there's evidence of me being the person that doesn't work out. There's evidence of me eating this crappy food. There's evidence of me feeling sloppy, feeling crappy in my clothes. Like, it's like more of like, oh, let's run that same program because I'm this kind of person. I'm the one who doesn't pay attention to my food. I'm the sloppy one. I'm the one who's always rushed. We're running different programs that don't serve us. So it's so important that we get intentional about training our brain around who we want to be, telling ourselves, I'm this kind of person, and then making our brain find evidence of us being the intentional, healthy person, being the one that's intentional with their finances. We have an episode coming up about that. Being the one who is intentional about who she surrounds herself with, who is intentional about tracking her progress. There's so many intentional fill in the blank people that we want to be, identity statements that we want to have, but it doesn't just happen. You got to train yourself to be that person. All right. So be thinking about what steps are you taking to be her, find evidence of that, and celebrate that. It could be simple little things that you are doing on the day-to-day. Like when I did my 5-minute journaling this morning, I was like, there you go, Ange. There you are, being her, being the one who journals, being the one who is intentional with her mind. All right. I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope I get to see you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.